Hello friends. So today we will discuss the non-destructive techniques using rebound hammer. The rebound hammer is principally a surface hardness tester. It works on the principle that the rebound of an elastic mass depends on the hardness of the surface against which the mass impinges. There is a little apparent theoretically relationship between the strength of concrete and the rebound number of the hammer. However, within limits, empirical correlation have been established between strength properties and the rebound number. Now, objective of this technique, the assessing the likely compressive strength of concrete with the help of suitable correlation between rebound index and the compressive strength, assessing the uniformity of concrete, assessing the quality of concrete in relation to standard requirements, and the assessing the quality of one element of the concrete in related to other. The figure shows the digital hammer, outside figure of the digital hammer. Now equipment. The weight of this hammer is approximately 1.8 kg and is suitable for the use both in the laboratory as well as in the field. A systematic cut away view of the rebound hammer is shown in the figure. The main component includes the outer body, the plunger, the hammer mass, and the main spring. Other features including a latching mechanism that locks the hammer mass to the plunger rod and a sliding rider to measure the rebound of a hammer mass. The rebound distance is measured on a arbitrary scale marked from the 10 to 100, and the rebound distance is recorded as a rebound number corresponding to the position of the rider on the scale. Now, basically, when the plunger of rebound hammer is pressed against the surface of the concrete, the spring control mass rebound and the extent of the such rebound depends upon the surface hardness of the concrete. The surface hardness and the therefore the rebound is taken to be related the compressive strength of concrete, and the rebound is read off along a graduated scale and is designated at the rebound number or rebound index. The how we can procedure how can we proceed for the testing? Basically, with the hammer, when the hammer is pushed hard against the concrete, the body is allowed to move away from the concrete until the latch connected the hammer mass to the plunger. In the B figure, the plunger is then held perpendicular to the concrete surface and the body pushed towards the concrete. The movement extent that shown in figure C, the spring holding the mass of the body. When the maximum extension of spring is reached, the latch released and the mass is pulled towards the surface by the spring. And in the last, that is the hammer rebound, the mass hits the shoulder of the plunger rod and rebounds because the rod is pushed hard against the concrete. Now this during rebound, the slide indicator travel with the hammer mass and stops at the maximum distance the mass reached after rebounding. A button on the side of the body is pushed to the lock the plunger into the retracted position and the rebound number is read from a scale on the body. Now, this figure shows the correlation curve. Basically, this figure shows the correlation between the rebound number on the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. There is the cube compressive strength in the Newton per mm square. The figure shows for there are the 5 graphs basically from angle 0 to 90 degree from horizontal to vertical. If we are using the rebound as a horizontal or vertical surface, then we will take the angle 0. But when we are using the hammer as a vertical on the horizontal surface, then we will take the theta as the 90. So we can seen from the graph that with the increase in the rebound number, the compressive strength in increase. The Rebound hammer methods provide a convenient and a rapid indication of the compressive strength of concrete by means of establishing a suitable correlation between the rebound index and the compressive strength of the concrete. But as such, the estimation of strength of concrete by rebound hammer method cannot be held to be very accurate, and the probable accuracy of the prediction of concrete strength in a structure is plus minus 25%. If the relationship between rebound index and the compressive strength can be checked by the test on the core sample obtained from the structure or standard specimens made with the same material and mixed proportions, then the accuracy of result and confidence thereon the greatly increased. So we can find out approximate compressive strength by using uh, correlation curve. In each case, we have to develop this curve. This is a ideal curve. However, in your case, you have to develop for your instrument as well as for your concrete properties. Now, influence of the test conditions. Basically, the concrete made with basically the rebound numbers are influenced by a number of factors like smoothness of the test surface, this type of cement, type of aggregate, surface condition, and moisture content, curing and age of concrete, carbonation of concrete surface. Basically, now smoothness of this test surface, hammer has to be used against a smooth surface, preferably a formed one. Open textures concrete cannot therefore be tested. If the surface is rough, it should be rubbed smooth. Now, influence of the type of cement. Basically, concrete made with the high alumina cement can give strength 100% higher than that with ordinary Portland cement. So, concrete made with the supersurface cement can give 50% lower strength than that with the ordinary Portland cement. So we have to know the source of the or type of the cement at the time of testing. Just like influence of type of aggregate, different type of aggregate used in concrete give different correlations between compressive strength and rebound numbers. Normal aggregates such as gravels, crust, rock aggregates give similar correlations, but concrete made with lightweight aggregate requires special calibration. Next one, influence of surface condition and moisture content of concrete. The rebound number method is suitable only for closed textures concrete. Open texture concrete, typically of masonry block, honeycombed concrete, or no fine concrete, are unsuitable for this type. All correlations assume full compaction as the strength of partially compacted concrete bear no unique relationship to the rebound number. Troweled or floated surface are harder than molded surface and tends to overestimate the surface of concrete. A wet surface will give rise to underestimation of the strength of concrete calibrated under dry condition. In structural concrete, this can be about 20% lower than in equivalent dry concrete. Next one is the influence of curing and age of concrete. The relationship between hardness and strength varies as a function of time. Variation in initial rate of hardening, subsequent curing, and condition of exposure also influence the relationship. Separate calibration curves are required for different curing regimes, but the effect of age can generally be ignored for concrete between 3 days and 3 months old. Last one, that is the influence of carbonation of concrete surface. The influence of carbonation of concrete surface on the rebound number is very significant. Carbonated concrete give an overestimate of strength, which is extreme cases can be up to 50%. It is possible to establish correction factor by removing the carbonated layer and testing the concrete with the rebound hammer on the uncarbonated surface. So now this test has been referred from the Indian code, that is the IS 13311 part 2, that is 1992, that is non-destructive testing of concrete method of test part 2 rebound hammer. Part 1 is basically for the ultrasonic pulse velocity method. So now, dear friends, I think you have learned about this testing rebound hammer, and you have take proper precaution at the time of testing. In the next video, we will discuss about the ultrasonic pulse velocity method of the this technique. And in some time, whenever this lockdown will open, we will practically use this rebound hammer in next video. So dear friends, thank you for your attention.